everyone, my name is Ryan, and welcome to the Impactful Review for the August 19th episode of Impact Wrestling. Normally, this will come out right after Impact on Thursday nights. Obviously, you can probably tell, a little under the weather, but all in all, feeling all right, ready to talk some Impact Wrestling. Before we start with the main show on BTI this week, we had Tasha Steelz with Savannah Evans going over Havoc. Also having Rosemary at ringside. This is a pretty okay match. Tasha Steelz uses Rosemary's distraction and Savannah Evans' beatdown on Rosemary to get the one-up on Havoc. The main show opens up with a recap of AEW Rampage from last Friday, where Christian Cage defeated now former Impact World Champion Kenny Omega, and he is now the new champion. Jump to the ring, Josh Matthews, GM Miller talking about Christian's win, Christian's history in TNA and Impact. GM misspeaks, I think, and she says it's been 5,000 some odd days since he's held the Impact World title. Incorrect. The last time that he had won a world title with TNA or Impact, it was actually still under the NWA umbrella. So kind of a small oversight there, or just a misspeaking on her behalf. But that's not what's going on here. We look up at the ramp. W. Morrissey, Eddie Edwards brawling. Just as Eddie's about to get powerbombed, Sami Callihan makes a save. They both dispatch of W. Morrissey. Sami grabs a mic, says he's not waiting until later for his match. It'll happen right now. Show intro. Whoa, whoa. Match number 1 on the evening. We have a tag team match featuring the 4 men in the Fatal 4-Way match tonight. At Emergence to determine the new number 1 contender for the Impact World Championship. And the teams are Sami Callihan and Chris Sabin taking on Moose and Ace Austin, being accompanied by Madman Fulton, who would not be a presence in this match. The face team is in control before the commercial break. We come back from the break, see the heel team in control. We get a lot of pairing off between Sabin and Moose and Sami and Ace Austin. Nothing too much outside of those pairings. I will say, though, all 4 men looked good. They all had their time to shine. We get to the finish. Sabin tags himself in, hits Ace Austin with the cradle shock to get the win for his team. Sami does get the last laugh, though, hitting the pile driver on Sabin. Video package from New Japan Pro Wrestling's Resurgence show that was last Saturday, where the Good Brothers defended their Impact World Tag Team titles against Jon Moxley and his surprise partner, Yuji Nagata. The Good Brothers do get the win. Post-match, we do see GOD, Gorillas of Destiny, that would be Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, coming out to confront the Good Brothers. They don't stick around for too long, they bail. This immediately segues to a promo in the back by Gallows and Anderson, completely overlooked talking about GOD, and Gallows straight to trash talking his opponent tonight, Joe Doring. Sami backstage saying that was just a taste of what everyone's in store for tomorrow at Emergence, which is now tonight. Eddie Edwards walks up on him and says he doesn't need anyone's help, especially Sami's. So then cut to the ring for our second match of the evening. We have Mahabali Shera being accompanied by Rohit Raju, taking on Matt Cardona being accompanied by Chelsea Green. So we have the last Ring King World Champion taking on the current GCW Champion. What a world we live in. Shera uses power mostly to control the early part of the match. Rohit is a heavy presence in this match. Makes Shera kind of look a little weak, in my opinion. Cardona is the more athletic of the two, so he's definitely using his athleticism to try to constantly get the one up on Mahabali Shera. Rohit goes to interfere again towards the finish, but Chelsea pulls him off of the apron, slaps him. Obviously, it's a deafening slap. Rohit's on the ground. Cardona hits radio silence from the top rope to get the win here, bouncing back from his loss against John Schuyler from last week. Video package of Christian defeating Jeff Jarrett back in 2006 to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, Gia Miller. This immediately cuts to locker room talk, hosted by Madison Rayne, co-hosted by Johnny Swinger. Her guest is Tennille Dashwood, who is also hosting her talk show All About Me, co-hosted by Caleb with a K. The back and forth that Swinger and Caleb have here towards the end of the segment is fantastic. Definitely a new school versus old school kind of back and forth. It was pretty comical. This leads to the match announcement of Madison Rayne versus Taylor Wilde tonight at Emergence. And Madison and Tennille's partnership, known as The Influence. Not sure if that name will stick, but they do make it known that they will be in the Knockouts Tag Division. Gia now backstage with X Division champion Josh Alexander, who says he'll continue to be the face of this company regardless of who the Impact World Champion is. Jake Something, who is his opponent tonight at Emergence, walks up to get in his face and tells Josh that if he's not scared, he needs to be. He walks away, though, right into Caleb with a K with his newfound courage, really giving it to Scott D'Amore, saying he'll take him to the ring, he'll beat him down, he's cleared. Jake tells Scott D'Amore that he wants a match, and he wants it now, so he ends up booking Jake versus Caleb later tonight, and it's a no disqualification match. Christian Cage segment now, returning to the Impact Zone for the first time in 9 years. The last time he was in TNA or Impact Wrestling as a competitor, and the ring had 6 sides, which I think is kind of it's kind of a big shift there for the company. He said he talked with Scott D'Amore and management, and they decided to not look in the past anymore, but we're looking to the now and to the future. And they end up retiring the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Shortly thereafter, he's cut off by his opponent for tonight, Brian Myers, and his student Sam Beal. He says he's taking the title tomorrow. Along with some other back and forth they have. Christian, though, I think it's a funny quote. It might have gotten overlooked. He says, here's a quote I've always lived by. You have to learn to lose before you learn to win. I thought it was funny. The only thing I can think of with that is Brian Myers' gimmick is Kurt Hawkins in WWE, where he had this 0 and 256, record. Just thought it was funny how they referenced that. Segment ends with Beal getting pushed into Christian and Myers bailing down the ramp. Obviously, their match is also tonight at Emergence. Melina on her way to the ring passes by Trey Miguel. She asked him if he still hangs out in the treehouse. He says the better question is, can you still do the splits? She kind of gives him that bedroom eyes look and says, you'll see. Video package highlighting Gianna Perazzo's victory over Fabi Apache at Triple Mania to become a double champion. And then transitioning to match number 3 of the evening, Melina taking on Brandy Loren. So right away, Trey, to answer your question, yes, she can still do the split. Melina's never been a top of the card women's worker. this might be a spoiler for some of you, she still isn't that wrestler. This match was quick. Melina delivered almost all the damage. She locks in a Muda lock. She turns it to give it a variation and gets Brandy to tap. Post-match, Gianna Purrazzo jumps Melina from behind. Run-in from the Drama King pulls Melina off. Holds her back so Gianna can do some more damage. Out comes Trey Miguel for the save. And the faces stand tall. Transition to Gia backstage with John Skyler, saying it's not shocking he beat Mac Cardona. And then she references the interference by Rohit. And he says, Rohit didn't give him the knee. Rohit didn't roll him up. And then cut to Juice Robinson laid out on the concrete backstage, grasping his knee, and David Finlay over top of him calling for help. Video package with Jordan Grace powerlifting. She did set state and world records the last time that she competed very recently. Rachel Ellering by her side the entire time. I think this is a good story they're telling. Match number 4 on the evening. Jake Something versus Caleb with a K. No disqualification. Not going to burn too much time on this. Typical squash. Jake pulls out a table. Jake spears Caleb through the table in the corner to get the win. Post-match, Josh Alexander comes to the ring, holds the title in Jake's face. Fade away to a creepy vignette with Su Yung and the undead Kimberly she's saying that she's collected her first soul, but there are more to come. We get a rundown of the emergence card, and then on to match number 5, which is our main event for the evening. Joe Doring being accompanied by Violent by Design. That would be Eric Young, Rhino, and Diener. And he is taking on Doc Gallows with his good brother Carl Anderson. This is a big hoss fight. The action is constant, back and forth the entire time. We end up going up the ramp and kind of off to the side of the main stage. Gallows hits a sky high through the stage. Everything comes to a screeching halt. The one part of the stage is destroyed. Gallows eventually crawls back to the ring. Doring follows right behind him. Gallows is on the top turnbuckle, jumps at Doring, but he hits a huge lariat, gets the win. Definitely a fantastic way to finish the show. I'm going to give this episode of Impact a B-. That is a slight better grade from last week's C+. I'll start with the cons. The Melina Brandy Loren match. I'm not a fan of Melina's in-ring work. It does nothing for me. The match as a whole didn't really do much. Right, you might be asking, well, what about the other squash match? The one with Jake Something and Caleb with a K. That one had a little bit more excitement to it, I think. But this one I just didn't enjoy. And then the locker room talk, all about me segment. That was probably the low point of the show for me. The pros, though, for this, the opening tag match was really good. Everything involving Christian Cage in the evening, I'm really glad they're making a big deal out of his championship victory. And then the main event. Gosh, that was really surprising. I've vehemently gone on the WrestleCast, and I've said, no more singles matches for Joe Doring. But after seeing this has got to be like his wheelhouse. He can't be in there with a ring technician or somebody who focuses more on that aspect of professional wrestling. Somebody, like Kojima, who he looked really bad in ring with. But my other big pro for this show was the build to Emergence. And I know it's a quick turnaround from their show was last night, Emergence is tonight. But everything on this show built to something that we are getting to tonight. And that's the point of a go-home show. It's to build excitement for your pay-per-view. And I think that this show adequately did that. So that is it for this week's impactful review. Stay tuned, because right after this video goes up, you will see my predictions for Emergence, which will be tonight, 7 p.m. on Impact Plus. With that being said, my name is Ryan, and we will see you next time.